Oh man, well, I am not even done yet with the end rows and lining the waterways. I mean, I don't have much left. I just gotta run west here and then back over to the house and I'd be done. However, I busted a line. Stripped off of that stupid filter. Busted my zip tie that was holding it up there. Gosh. I am not having a good day today. Okay, so here's what we got going on. We've got a 1064 Rogator that we're going to be spraying soybeans with. Our setup here is just a Ram 3500 with a bulk tank of Enlist, which is just 2,4-D, but we're running Enlist beans. So we'll be spraying that with Liberty and some Request clethodim for the volunteer corn that's out in the field. Basically, whenever an ear corn falls off from last year into the field, it starts growing in the field next year where the beans are at, and you want to kill that. So otherwise it doesn't look very good. And then we've got just a nurse tank, a poly nurse tank that we'll be pulling water out of a creek, praying that there's still water there because, good Lord, it hasn't rained in forever. But yeah, and just so you know, none of the chemical ever goes into that poly tank. I do top load it on the top of the sprayer. The water gets shot in through the bottom. The chemicals never mix with that water. Just want to get that out there. But anyway, it is time to spray soybeans. Typically you want to do it before R1 flowering. You can do it before R2. I mean, you can spray them however late you want, so long as you're not past the date that the state sets for some chemicals, depending on what you're using. You know, could be the 20th, 30th of June. Could be the, earlier than that. But we're gonna try and get it done here. It is the 13th, so we typically like to be done right around the 15th of June, somewhere in there. We probably would have been done earlier, but it's been so hot and so dry. These beans just stalled out. Nothing was growing. And these weeds are so hardened because they're not growing. I don't even know if this is gonna kill them. So they need to be growing for them to intake this chemical. For a lot of them, some's contact, whatever, but some it's got to take it in through the roots, which it needs a rain to get down into the soil, the herbicides that we're spraying. And there's just a lot of factors here that these weeds aren't dead. Even from the first pass, even from the second pass on corn, I've noticed with scouting some fields, these weeds just didn't die. So that is literally just because of no rain. And I do want to make mention that yes, our corn does looks really good, okay? It looks good. However, it might look good, but it is June 13th. I have a picture on my phone. If I can find it, I'll put it on here right now. My dad texted me, I think it was June 27th. And the corn on our sand, which it is sand, I get that, but corn on our sand was 7 foot tall. That's in 14 days, 2 weeks. You think that's gonna be 7 foot tall in 2 weeks? No. Right around the 4th, here, it's gonna be tosseling. It could tossle at my chest. Right now, some of this stuff is, at my waist, but I mean, 3 weeks from now, if it doesn't get any water, it could tossle short. Sure, we could still see 200 bushel an acre, but a lot of this stuff, like on our sand, it's just gonna burn up and die. But, and be zeros. But anyway, totally off subject. We'll be spraying soybeans today. The way this year has been going, and still is going, let's just be glad that insurance exists. I know a lot of guys, talk about, oh, all these farmers just play the insurance game and that's all they farm for. It's just the insurance money and government handouts and stuff like that. But my dad started farming in the 80s. And the stories that he tells me, and the stories that I've heard, the suicide rates, the debt, crippling debt. Let's all be glad that insurance exists, because you don't want the farmers to go broke. Yes, it's doom and gloom, I know, but hopefully we get a rain. Just keep praying for the farmers out here, across the Corn Belt, really, and more than just that, Florida, you know, it's looking bad. So let's just hope that we get a rain. That's all we can do. We got to stop thinking about it. If you're a farmer out there and, you know, your crops look miserably bad, or they look like ours, or they don't look that bad, but you know they're going to be short anyway, you know, best thing you can do is just not think about it. Just go to the lake, go fishing, just get away from it. Do anything but think about it. Because just until the combine rolls, you're not going to do anything about it. So you're not going to know what it's going to be. And really, you can't even do anything about it when the combine rolls anyway. Just take your mind off it, go do something else. Okay, enough of that kind of talk. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to go ahead and get the sprayer started. Get it warming up. Ooh. Sometimes I wonder if this thing is firing on all cylinders. And literally, I mean, I think the injectors might be bad, but we just had them replaced like 2 years ago. So I would think that they'd all be good. But it just sounds miserable when it's starting up some days. And I sat there and let it, you know, let the coils warm up for a very long time. This is going to be warming up. I'm going to go ahead and grab the ram there, take it over, grab some water. We're going to be shooting a 20-gallon an acre with this Liberty. These tips, they're DRs. We've got DR110 5s and DR110 8s. And he was thinking, the guy that helped us put the new capstan system on this sprayer was thinking, okay, that's what you're going to want, you know, if you're spraying 10-gallon an acre, which we still do. You're going to want the 5s and 20-gallon acre or anything like that. You're going to be wanting the 8s. Well, the DR stands for drift reduction. It is way too coarse. I mean, droplets, huge droplets. We were spraying 15-gallon acre on the 5s. A lot of stuff didn't die out in our fields just because of that reason. It's too big, which, again, this is all new, so it's a learning process all over again. We had the tips that we liked with the old system we had. This is a new system. I think we figured out that we do not like the drift reduction tips. We're not running that much medium as far as like water, like 15-gallon, 20-gallon, 30-gallon an acre. Some guys 50-gallon an acre. You know, we're not doing that. We don't have that luxury of mixing in a tank and then just shooting it on the sprayer. We have to keep the water separate, load at the fields. It's a little more difficult for us, so that's why we run, you know, the lower rates. It's always kept our fields clean. A lot of guys say, oh, 10-gallon an acre never work. Well, we've been doing it for I don't even know how long now, and our fields are always clean. So, but with the Liberty, we are going to be running 20-gallon. Even if these tips weren't on here, we will be running 20-gallon. Everyone says coverage is king with Liberty. Don't start too early, don't spray too late, and just 20 to 30-gallon an acre, just fog it out there. So unfortunately we can't fog it out there because we've got drift reduction tips on, so, which isn't a bad thing. You know, we don't want stuff drifting, but there are times you want to fog, you know, with fungicides and stuff like that. We can't even do that. So the beans, the fungicide pass on the beans, if it even gets done this year, because we may not even have beans to spray, or that we want to spend money on. But when we do get to that point, later in July, I may not be able to fog those beans, unless I'm running 100-gallon an acre. But anyway, just rambling today. Okay, we've made it to the creek. Let's check to see just how bad it is. It's still got water. It's not totally bone dry, but the moss is definitely accumulating from all the the sun, it is thriving. But yeah, so we just take this nurse tank, and we've got this fill hose. We've got to send through here with one hand. This is not going to happen. I'm gonna have to sit there for just a second. Anyway, we take this fill hose and we just get it caught on everything so that it's not cooperating. We just plop it down into the water. Hope that it doesn't get into any of the moss, because otherwise it just sucks up all the moss and then plugs all the filters when we're trying to load the sprayer. Open these up. Still spins. Make sure you always check that. Make sure it's got gas. Good Lord, if it doesn't have gas. Okay, it does. Might need to get some gas in the back of the truck. Anyway, turn the motor on. Switch the motor on. And then hope it starts pulling water. I see it rumbling in there, so must be doing something. This stuff, by the way, this poison hemlock, it is so bad this year. I've never seen it this bad in my life. And let me tell you, I may have said it before on some of my other videos, but that stuff can actually put you in respiratory failure, coma, kill you. You know, if you ingest it, it is the worst I've seen it. And it looks like, it looks like carrots, like the flowering and stuff. And it's a part of the carrot family, actually. But it's really bad. It's not good for you. You don't want to go in it. You don't want to touch it. Like if you mow it, just the fumes from mowing it over can actually be toxic to you. So pretty crazy, but the stuff is everywhere. I don't know, maybe where you're at it might be the same, but I've never seen so much poison hemlock in my life. Anyway, I'm just going off on a million tangents this video, so I apologize, but we are filling up with water. We're going to be taking this back to the farm. I'm going to be spraying the 120 acres south of the house. Those beans, they're not flowered yet. I don't think anything around here is flowered yet in stage R1, so I think we're good. I mean, like I said, it's just stalled out from the heat, so none of this stuff I don't think is flowered yet. Like I said, we typically don't want to spray the beans when they're flowered, because it'll stunt the growth, stunt the yield potential of those beans. You might sting them a bit, lose some yield. So we try and keep it before R1, before that flowering stage, so that it might ding the plant growing a little bit, but then once it flowers, it's just going to try and produce as many pods as it possibly can. That's when it's going to figure out, okay, I just need to push yield. So that's why we're waiting until now. I've got a million gnats in here that I need to kill. If you are watching this long, feel free to subscribe. It is free. Leave a comment, like the video, turn the little bell on so you know when I post a video. I try to post every 4 days. In harvest and springtime, I'll probably try and post more than that. Now that I've gotten a little routine here and I kind of know what I'm doing a little better. Obviously, if you look through my playlist, I have a playlist of seasons. So this year is the 23 crop season. You can go through that playlist and watch it from video to video. I try to make my YouTube end screens to where the next video is always going to be the next video in chronological order. So if you go through that playlist, should all be in order. It's from when basically we ended harvest from last year up until this point. For those of you that have subscribed, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. The sprayer's running. I just got water, chemicals loaded, and it's raining. Normally, I would be extremely upset because I wanted to get some spraying done today, but we haven't had rain in so long that I don't even care about the sprayer. I hope that it rains for the next 3 days and we get 5 inches of rain in 3 days, just over all of those hours. Not all at once, obviously, for gosh sakes. Not within like 2 hours. But if we could just have 5 inches of rain over 72 hours, just a light rain, I'd be happy. Is that too much to ask for? But it is raining right now, so I don't really know what to do at the moment. I guess I'll go shut the sprayer off, because it looks like it's just going to continue to come at us. It looks pretty dark. I guess I'm gonna go look at the radar. I don't know what to do. I haven't seen this stuff in a long time. I don't know how to react to it. In this office, we've got our handy little DTN. Anyway, this is just a separate own little computer here. We can go through, check the grain markets if we need to. Bunch of information here. So for right now, all I want is the weather. It doesn't look like it's just kind of hovering over top of us. So just kind of building there. It's got the hood of the tractor wet. We're like literally the only area that's getting rain right now, just our county. I guess, I hope it just sticks around and we get a lot of it. I can forfeit the sprayer for today. Well, that didn't amount to anything other than me just being able to eat lunch here, but it's a little, about a tenth. It's better than zero, I guess, but get a little more rain yet today, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and spray. Should have checked the oil. Forgot to do that earlier. I've been checking it pretty much every day that I'm running the machine, and it's stayed full this entire time, but things do happen, and it's usually the one time you don't check it. But I think it's okay. Nothing's off on the gauges here, so I'm gonna assume that it's okay. I'll have to check that next time though. I do keep forgetting. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get loaded here. I gotta remember the rates on this stuff, like quart per acre on the enlist and 12 ounces per acre on the clethodim and other things like that, but we'll get that figured out here, and then we'll go ahead and mix 40. We're gonna have to mix 3 40s to be able to finish this 120, because this is a 1,050 or 1,080 gallon tank on the back of the sprayer. And unfortunately, we're shooting 20 gallons an acre, so mixing a 40, I'm gonna have 800 gallons of water on. I can't really do 260s because I can't fit the water. So that's just how we're gonna have to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix a 40 now, go spray that off, have to come back in, mix another 40, go spray that off, come back in, mix another 40, which is why I wish that we just had a tank that I could just shoot it straight on. It's already mixed and done while I'm spraying. Dad can be mixing chemicals in the nurse tank, but unfortunately we do not, so this is the way that we have to do it. Not a big deal, just take some time. And hopefully it doesn't just randomly start raining again, because this stuff has like a 4-hour rain fast, so meaning if I spray it and then it rains within 4 hours, it's probably not gonna do anything. But who knows, maybe this 10th of rain will actually get these weeds growing a little bit, and we'll go ahead and go spray these, and hopefully they all just die. Okay, so I've got you guys mounted on my head right now. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how we get everything done here. We're gonna take this cap off. Need to hook up the water from the nurse tank. Now we need to figure chemicals. We're gonna go ahead and pop the hood on the truck for now. The reason we need the hood popped is because we need this battery here to plug in the pump and give it some power. And that is what is gonna be pumping out our enlist. So we're gonna go ahead and get this figured quickly. This is actually his spraying book. We'll go ahead and grab something else. This ought to work. So we've got 1 quart of Enlist, 40 acres. Enlist is going to be 10 gallon. The Liberty at 40 ounces is going to be 40 ounces times 40 acres, should be 1,600 ounces. Divide that by 128 ounces in a gallon, that's 12.5 gallon. We've got the perfect amount of Liberty.
I hope not, because I still got to get the fertilizer.
What do you mean?
I got to have more room to pick up.
Oh.
To get on the road.
Well, we'll probably be able to take some of these out, but yeah, we need 12.5 gallon of Liberty, which is this glufosinate. A gallon from the bottom. Yep. Okay, we've got everything up there, except for obviously the Enlist. Have 25 gallon, somewhere in there, 35, maybe 45 gallon, call it. So 50 gallon off of 800 gallon is 750. So I'm gonna need about a little over 750 gallon of water. Set our meter here, clear it, turn the pump on, choke, turn it back off because I forgot. It's actually got more fuel than I thought, but we'll go ahead and fuel it. Just because it's annoying when it dies in the middle of trying to mix. Push this because it does automatically turn off. Just make sure it's still on. Choke it. Turn the remote pump on. Sump off. Remote pump on. Fill on. Bypass on. Open her up. Here's where the fun begins. I gotta dump all these jugs in, one by one. Any of them that are turned around, like this one over here, that means I know that it's only a partial. Usually I have a bag or something that I put these in, or I cut them off in the truck and I forgot because I was filming. So what we'll do is we'll probably just set them down here on the platform for now. That's 2.5. We'll also set these on down here because we will rinse these out. We'll rinse these out with water. Make sure we get all the chemical out of them. Yep. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and get my pocket knife put back in my pants. Otherwise I will forget that it is there and it will be in the field somewhere or on the road. Okay. Let us begin. Set my cap up here. Flip her over. Rinse the jugs out until we see water. And we gotta do this for 10 more jugs. Toss them down to him. I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, that is all done. Make sure we pick up our scraps here. Get these in an empty box down there. We should be ready to roll. Okay, shut the water off. Close the bypass. Oh, pump off. Turn him on. Sump back on. Time to spray. Now we can take the water off. That is obviously just clean water coming out of there. We are set to go. Okay. Now we can finally start the day. Okay. Change the pattern to a straight, whatever, doesn't matter right now. We're not going to be using it. I do not have auto steer, but it is nice to have a little light bar up here. Anyway, we are on 20 gallon an acre. Set this up. We are good to go here. System setup. Make sure these are all zeros, controller, gallon counter, all that stuff. Good stuff. Go ahead and delete the map that it's on now. It's probably not on one, but go ahead and make sure that that's done. Rev up the engine. Turn him all the way up to bunny. Take the parking brake off. And away we go. We are in first gear right now. Okay, so we lifted the booms with these here. Now we're going to use these blue controllers. We'll let them out. I'll let them down a little bit, get gravity working with me. Use the light blue to flip out the outers. About right. Go ahead and pull in a little further here. It's about perfect. Let the main boom down. This lets the whole entirety of the boom down. We want to stay about, I think it's 20 inches over your tallest weed. We're going to want to stay up quite a bit here because some of these weeds are kind of tall. I don't know if you can see those out there, but we'll go ahead and flip all our sections on. Turn the master pump on. Set our capstan system. Turn it to manual. Turn compensation. Overlap turns on the mapping. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. This is our master switch here, down here, the foot switch. We're going to turn that on. First we're going to turn the AC on a little bit. It's a little cold or warm in here. Turn that on, run forward a little bit. Let the mapping start on the capstan system. Have the sump on, don't I? Sump is on, spray is on, everything's closed. I don't see anything wrong. It's just not cooperating. Okay. We let that run for a minute. I'm going to lift up this boom for a second so I can get around. Grab our gloves. Make sure there's nothing open here that's just blasting chemical out, and that's why it won't. That's why it won't allow me to build pressure here. The middle is spraying, it seems. So the middle is filled, so we can shut our center section off. I don't see anything, like these are closed. Yeah, all these are closed. Get rid of this. Little volunteer corn. Probably the best corn we'll have all year, but we're gonna kill it. Starting to get a little annoyed. Is it plugged? Oh, that'd be bad. That main sump was plugged from the AMS that I put in when I was shooting the atrazine. Well, no, I rinsed out. I shot beans last, I think. So I killed that cover crop. So the AMS is out of it. Pump is on. Sections are on. Boom clean out is off. This looks normal. Oh, my system pressure was set to 0 there for a second. Maybe I had it set to 90 before. Maybe I'll turn it down. Turn it down to 60. See what it does. 65. Come on, Betsy. They don't take that long to get charged. Okay, we gotta see what's going on here. Okay. We're gonna get out. We're gonna change this setup to the key fob. We can just hit this switch to the right and actually stand behind the sprayer. There's the fence row nozzle. There's that one. There's that one. Okay, I'm at a loss here. We're going to try one more thing. We're going to keep the sump on. We'll turn on the remote pump here. Open the bypass a little way. Turn the fill on. You got pressure? So the pump is good. The pump is not bad. It has nothing to do with the hydraulics. We know that. So at least that is understood. Put this back to spray. Sump is on. Okay, we have gotten a little ways here. Obviously, this was a total disaster. When we finally got across the field here, I went ahead and turned off 60 feet, so basically 2 sections here, running alongside these beans because they are extend beans, meaning they can only be sprayed with dicamba. They cannot be hit with the enlist that we have in these beans, which are enlist beans. So, I left a gap between them. Off just a little bit, but that's okay. No, I'm on. I'm correct. Not really too sure what the heck was going on, but it's fixed now, so I need to get over a little more, not kill that waterway. I'm trying to go over here and there. This one's always tricky, a little tricky. This waterway actually just needs fully killed. I need to just literally spray through it, kill all, well, I shouldn't say fully killed, but that section up further needs to be fully killed. Get rid of all these giant rags. This is what all this stuff is here. All these giant rags. Just get them out of here. And then just reseed the waterway. Oh man. Well, I am not even done yet with the end rows and lining the waterways. I mean, I don't have much left. I just gotta run west here and then back over to the house and I'd be done. However, I busted a line. Stripped off of that stupid filter. Busted my zip tie that was holding it up there. Gosh. I am not having a good day today. I think I'm gonna call it a video there. I'm gonna move this back up to the house. I mean, it already looks like it's gonna rain, so I was just trying to get empty here so that I could just shut it down for the day. Tomorrow through the rest of the week is supposed to be beautiful out, no wind whatsoever. I just wanted to finish the tank so that I could just fill it and be ready for tomorrow. But no, I can't even do that because this system, which is beeping at me, I'm shutting it off. I'm done. I'm shutting it all off. Okay, we're going up to the house. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna leave these out. Just gonna run up there and I'll fix it later. I got everything beeping at me. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry I couldn't get a little more footage of actually spraying, but that's just how some of these days go. Now let's hope we actually get a rain. See you in the next one.